Sonny Melendrez, Sonny Radio, sonnyradio.com.
Hello, hello. It's Sonny Melendrez, and welcome to the positive side of the radio spectrum. This is the Sonny Melendrez Show. Every week we strive to bring you entertainment and inspiration through storytelling, fascinating guests, exclusive celebrity interviews, and it's all delivered with lots of enthusiasm. Can't wait to introduce you to my special guest this week. But first, we are brought to you by Ideal Precision Roofing. As you know, Ideal Precision Roofing is the premier roofing company in San Antonio. They've done hundreds and hundreds of roofs, and every time I speak to a homeowner who has had their roof done by Ideal Precision Roofing, one of the things they tell me is that they can't believe how easy the process was. Many times it's because of hail damage. They found Ideal Precision, usually because a neighbor had had their roof replaced by Ideal Precision and had a great experience. They call Ideal, and an expert comes out, assesses the damage, contacts the insurance company. The whole process gets going in a matter of just a few days, if not faster. And before you know it, the crew is on the roof, they do the job, they leave, and it's like they were never even there. But the one thing that they always say is that they were kept abreast of every step of the process all along the way. Ideal Precision Roofing. If you suspect you might have hail damage, if you're needing a new roof, please give them a call at 210-485-1553. That's 210-485-1553, or visit them at idealprecisionroofing.com and tell them that Sonny Melendrez sent you. And now, on with the show.
Sonny Radio, sonnyradio.com, San Antonio.
Of love, just for two, though you never knew you were my reason.
Well, my guest today is a very talented young lady. She's an award-winning Tejano singer, Grammy winner, and is about to embark on a new comedy career. A big welcome to my friend, Rebecca Valadez.
Hello. Like that one?
Yeah,
Can I do it again?
that is the smoothest intro hello I've ever heard
Hello.
on the show. So, Rebecca, I want to start out by, and I always do this with all of my guests, I'm fascinated by what it was you were like as a child. I mean, did you always know that you wanted to sing? Were you that kind of a child that was always, performing?
No. It was more of a. My mom noticed that I had a little bit of talent, and I say a little bit because I really wasn't that great of a singer in the beginning. But my mom was. My mom was a spectacular vocalist, and she hated hearing me sing off key. Like, it just drove her up the wall. She couldn't stand it anymore. And because I was always singing poorly, she said, that's it. We're going to sit down. I'm going to teach you how to sing, and we're going to do it right. And you're not getting up from this chair until you can sing it just like Whitney Houston. And that's how it all got started. And then luckily for me, one of my mom's cousins, he was the one who booked all of the events there at the Market Square. So whenever you see like kids go up on stage, inside the market, and they do like little karaoke tunes or whatever, he was the one that booked all those talents going in and out of the Market Square. And he told my mom, Sandy, you should bring Rebecca down here and have her sing a couple of songs. And that's where it started. I got up on that stage and I sang back when, I want to say back when Patsy Torres, but Patsy Torres is still performing. But but this was, I want to say 1980, 85, 86. And I sang, and people threw money at me. And I was like, hey, I think there's something to this. I started auditioning for commercials. I landed a McDonald's, like an international spot for McDonald's that played in all the Latin American, not Latin American, but just Latin countries in general. And everything I ever auditioned for, man, I got it. So I never really had to struggle in the beginning. So I didn't know what it was like to fight for anything. I would just walk in the door and I would get the part, and I was blessed. Not so much anymore, because now I'm 40 and I got to compete with like 18-year-olds, and so I actually have to put the work in now. But it was lovely back then.
How great! It's interesting because I had Patsy on the show not too long ago, and we were talking not only about Market Square but also about Selena, and I think that's where I saw you for the first time was at one of the events at Market Square. There should be like a big reunion of all the people who started at Market Square.
Exactly.
That would be fantastic.
Well, I taught at the Network for Young Artists starting in like 2000, and a lot of the people that came from that school have gone on to do really great things. One of them almost won America's Got Talent, or one of those TV shows. Like, all of them competed on those shows, and they went really, really far. One of them was a member of the Fifth Harmony. I think that's what it's called, Fifth Harmony. Allie something. Anyway, she went to the school. She went to Network for Young Artists. Ada Vox was at the Network for Young Artists. The little boy Sebastian, who just recently came out in a movie called Margarita Man, he was at the Network for Young Artists. I had a whole group that I took with me to Toronto, and they recorded an album. They had their own like a kids TV musical show on the Stars Network. They were all a part of the school when we taught there, and I think it's interesting to see, and again, I talk about age. I've never thought of myself as old, because I was always the youngest person in any situation. And now I have these kids that I taught, and they're all grown up now, and they've got kids of their own, and they have houses and cars and driver's licenses. And it's just the weirdest sensation that I never thought I'd have the honor of feeling that I had something to do with that. These kids can make money off of their music because of what we taught them when they were children. Now they got families of their own to take care of. And a lot of them, some of them do even better than I. Some are doing a lot better than I am. But it's just interesting that you should say that, because a couple of the kids from the school, I say a couple, but it's like 30. They do get together once in a while. They have like a Network for Young Artists reunion, and they share their stories, and they get up on stage and they sing and they dance all the old cumbias like we used to back in the day. And I get invited, but I don't want to cry in front of them and stuff.
No. Now let's talk about that. How has the music industry changed from when you were starting out to what it's like now? I mean, what was the big difference?
Well, I think the major difference is social media, for one. A lot of your success today relies on how well you can handle social media. And we all had to go back to school to learn that stuff, to learn how to handle Instagram and Facebook and all the other stuff that I have no idea how it works. So I don't have that leg up like all these newer artists that are coming up. And true to point, there's some really talented vocalists out there who decided not even to utilize their vocals because there was too much to compete with vocally, but they knew they had other attributes. So one of them is a makeup Instagram influencer now. Even though she's an incredibly talented vocalist, that's what her thing is. She's got like 20,000 subscribers or followers. I don't know how it works. I have to go to school to figure out how that works. but I remember having that conversation with her. I said, "You're so beautiful. You should become an influencer. I bet you could do it." And she said, I was just thinking that I was going to do that today. And she started doing it, and now she's a huge success. And she gets, I don't know how they monetize that. You get sponsors or what? Man, I wish somebody would explain it to me because I really like to do it.
Well, that really has changed. Of course, the internet was not around as strong as it is today 10, 15, 20 years ago. But the big thing is recording. A lot of people will ask me, they'll say, I've got my daughter or my son. He's really talented. We want to make a recording. What's your advice to them?
My first question for them would be, what is your budget? What are you willing to spend? And I'll send you to the right person that can do it within that budget. And it's not going to be any less quality than if you went to a huge recording studio, which those barely even exist at this moment. Most people just record from their hotel rooms. And that's the beauty of it. You don't need a whole lot of equipment. You just need the right equipment. And you need a really great sense of adventure and imagination. And you can make anything possible. But I think ultimately, and bringing back that social media aspect, it doesn't matter even how great it is, because I've heard some horrible things, but it's the fact that it was so horrible that made it so famous. You can be famous for just about anything. So, and that's the beauty of social media, because it's a lot easier to find those people than it was back in the day.
Coming up through the ranks, I'm sure you've performed on many stages, not only here, but internationally. What's the most memorable to you?
Well, all of the Janet Jackson stuff, that was cool, because those were the largest audiences, and they were the most. You were looking at 20,000 people in a crowd, and they all are in love with Janet Jackson. They're in love with that one person that hits the stage, and that's not something you get to see. I mean, you see it from the audience if you attend the concert, but when you're on stage and the curtains open and you're seeing all those thousands of faces, just insane with fanaticism, just their eyes are about to pop right out of their skull because they're so excited. And it's just the intro, like the song hasn't even really begun yet. The curtains just open and it just is a huge roar. And those are the things that I love the most about being a backup vocalist.
Now, how did you get that gig?
I auditioned. They have a cattle call auditions every time that she goes out. I mean, she has an idea of who she wants, but bless her heart, she wants to give some of the newer kids their opportunity. So she goes around the country and holds auditions for dancers and singers and everything. And I just happened to, for that particular tour, they had already signed a female vocalist to be a backup for her. But that woman just found out that she had got picked up by a record label. And Janet said she didn't want to have to deal with the record label because it's too much red tape that she had to go through. And she didn't want to have to lose her singer in the middle of the tour. They said, I don't want to have to deal with that. So then I got a phone call and I had to sing over the phone. And that's how I got the job.
Wait, you had to sing over the phone?
I did. He wanted to make sure that I could sing the highest note of the entire show, which is on Rhythm Nation. It's time to give it up, let's work together. I can't sing right now, but and it's way higher than that, by the way. But I remember I was only 17 when I auditioned, and I turned 18 just in time for the tour to begin. So if I had turned 18 any later, I would not have been able to go on that tour.
Amazing.
Yeah, and that's how I did it. I knew my manager at the time was really good friends with Janet's a musical director. His name was Rex Salas. And Rex Salas is actually married to Janet's niece. So, it's all relative, I guess.
It is.
So I was lucky. That was a really lucky shot that I got. And when they told me I got the part, I was like, nah, be quiet. Says, yeah, we're going to bring you in. And then I got the call from Rex Salas, and he said, I want you to sing that one part on Rhythm Nation. And I sang it, and he goes, okay, well, we start rehearsals in a couple of weeks. We'll see you there. And I immediately dropped to the floor, started crying. I couldn't believe it. I thought somebody was pranking me. But nope, that was it. I had gotten the job. It was the coolest thing ever.
Now,
I'd
Rebecca,
like for that to happen again.
Yeah, exactly. Now, are any of these recordings or any of these live performances on YouTube with you as backup?
For Janet, yeah. We did the HBO special. We taped that at Madison Square Garden, and anybody can rent that one. But they also have clips of it on YouTube. You look up Janet Jackson Velvet Rope Tour 1998. But you'll have to really have a good eye to find me, because I'm a backup vocalist. I'm not a dancer. I always got people always confused me with Nikki Pantenberg, who was Janet's backup dancer. We kind of looked alike. Even my mom got us confused. I remember it was Nikki's birthday and we were like in Zurich or something somewhere. And I took a picture of Nikki sitting next to Janet Jackson at the dinner table at her birthday party that evening. And when I got back to the States, I showed my mom the picture. She was going through the pictures. She grabbed that picture, Sonny, and she came to me and she says, "Oh my gosh, Rebecca, you look so beautiful in this picture." And I looked at her like, "Really, Mom? That is not me. That is Nikki Pantenberg. I'm behind the camera. I cannot believe that you don't think I'm beautiful unless you're literally confusing me with somebody else."
Your own mother.
My own mother confused me for Nikki Pantenberg. Nikki Pantenberg actually ended up marrying Babyface Edmonds. And they have a beautiful daughter. She's a Gap model now. That's how old we are. I can't even believe it. Nikki Pantenberg had a kid with Babyface, and now that kid's like 12, 14 years old, something like that. That's so crazy.
All right. Well, I'm going to stop you right there. And when we come back, I want to talk about projects that you've got right now, stuff that's going on, and something that you told me about earlier that's pretty exciting. In just a moment, when we continue with Rebecca Valadez. We're brought to you by Ideal Precision Roofing in San Antonio. You know, there's one thing that you'll find with a call to Ideal, and that is from the very start of your conversation, of having an expert come out and check your home for any possible hail damage or any other kind of damage, or maybe you've just got a roof that has seen better days and you've been thinking about a new roof. You definitely are in good hands with Ideal Precision Roofing. But from the time you make that phone call to the time an expert comes out and literally goes up on the roof and checks it for any kind of possible damage. And then, of course, if your insurance company is involved, they will definitely take care of that. They take care of all the work so that what you may have thought of when you've maybe put off calling someone to come and do an inspection, all of a sudden you realize that the whole process is so smooth. And that's because of the way that they do business. Ideal Precision Roofing has been helping homeowners like you in South Texas for several years, and hundreds of new roofs in our city and surrounding area. So give them a call at 210-485-1553. That's 210-485-1553, or visit them on the web at idealprecisionroofing.com.
You're listening to the Sonny Melendrez Show. Sonny's email address is sonny@sonnyradio.com.
We're back with Rebecca Valadez, award-winning Tejano artist, but really you've sung all kinds of different genres, haven't you?
I have. I've done everything. I even did theater.
Really?
I did. Well, I played Selena in the Selena Forever musical. And,
that's right.
Yeah, that was scary.
Now, Rebecca, who do I hear in the background?
Oh my gosh, those are my kids. I have 3 kids now, Sonny. Yeah, I have a 7-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old.
Oh,
yeah.
Those are great ages. Great ages.
Yeah, I'm potty training the smallest one, and I told myself I'm not going to give myself an album release party. I'm going to give myself a diaper release party. As soon as I change that last diaper, I'm going to be free. And I can't wait. I'm going to throw myself a huge party. It's going to be champagne. I'm going to go all out.
So no more kids after this one, right?
No more kids after this one.
All right. I'm sorry. You were telling me about
the theater thing. I wasn't. They talked me into that. I kept saying no. I said I don't want to do it. And for good reason, because you're all by yourself on the stage. You got to remember scripts and everything, and people are counting on you. Maybe if I had been offered like the part of Suzette, like a smaller part or something, I would have been more excited to do it. But it was incredibly frightening to lead a musical. Oh God, just thinking about it's giving me the hives. But even worse than that, I just started we're starting to produce a comedy show for me, which I always thought that I'd be able to do comedy. I just didn't think that I could hit a stage by myself, no band, no nothing.
Yeah.
Just me and a mic. I don't know how they can do it, but I'm going to try. So I'm talking to a good friend of mine. His name is Rick Gutierrez.
I know Rick.
Yeah, he's going to help me produce this show called Chicana Pride. And it's me and 4 other Tejano singers, female Tejano singers, basically telling our story about coming up in the music industry, but using comedy or like sketch comedy, and then having an actual live band where we sing and everything.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. So it sort of started off as something, I know, sweetheart. It started off as just us singing songs. But when I talked to Rick about it, he opened my eyes to a much bigger concept. And then he said that he would help me write it. He would write it and produce it for us. And I was like, what? Okay, let's do it then. And
now, who are you talking to right there?
oh, this is my 2-year-old. She was in the bathtub.
Oh, bless her heart. What's her name?
I am going to hold you. Come here. Yeah. Okay. You need to come here. Okay, well, bye then. See, and this is why I don't go anywhere anymore, Sonny. All my friends get mad at me. Well, why didn't you show up to the club last night? I'm like, man, I really wanted to. But I was like up to my neck in dirty diapers.
I know. We've got 2 grown boys, and they used to fight all the time. And my wife would say, I can't stand it. I'll be so glad when they're grown. And I said, no, this is music.
Right?
One day you're going to miss that. It's all part of life. The things that they want, the crying, and just everything. To me, it's all music.
I love when they wake up in the middle of the night every single night and climb into my bed. Last night, Mia woke up at about 5:15 a.m.
Yeah.
I know because I looked at the clock and I was like, man, I don't have to be up until 6:45. But here she is, 5:15, and why are you naked?
Oh.
And she was like ready to go at 5:15 a.m.
Yeah.
She would not go back to sleep.
Yeah.
And that was it. I had to stay awake for the rest of the day, and I've been up since.
Yeah, we've got a 3-year-old granddaughter now.
Uh-huh.
And when it's bedtime, she says, "But I'm awake."
But I'm awake, I know.
Yes.
It's okay. Be quiet, baby.
Oh.
Yeah, and when she's up, she's like, I want water.
No.
What does she want?
I don't know what she wants. She wants me to hold her.
Oh, well, pick her up. Yeah, hold her.
Do I have her? But she doesn't want me to hold her in this room. She wants me to hold her in the room where the cartoons are super loud right now.
I got you.
I thought if I put them in the tub that they'd be okay for a minute, but I guess I left them in there too long.
And how old is she? She's 2 years old?
She's 2. She'll be 3 in June. Right, Mia.
And what's her name?
Her name is Mia Bobia Banana Fanafofia.
Put Mia on the phone. Tell her Mickey Mouse is on the phone.
Mickey Mouse wants to say hi. Mia, you want to say hi to Mickey Mouse? Say hi.
Oh, hi, Mia. It's Mickey Mouse. Oh, there's Goofy. Come over here, Goofy. Say hi to Mia. Oh, gosh. Oh, hiya, Mia. Tengo vergüenza. Oh, hey, Mia. You're Donald Duck.
Yeah.
You're Donald Duck. Here, come over here, Donald. Say hi to Mia.
She's happy now. See, you gotta get
good.
It, Sonny. Oh my goodness.
There you go. I don't think I've ever done that during.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now I can't see.
I know he's you can't see him. He's on the phone. See? She's all excited now. You're gonna have to call every day now, Sonny.
Copy. Yes, I will. at this time. All right. So tell me, what other projects are you working on right now? You've got this comedy, wonderful. It's a great idea with your cohorts on stage. How soon will that happen?
We should be done with like the basic writing and like the bones of it in about 4 weeks. And then we'll be able to start the actual production and rehearsals and everything. And we got a band in mind. There's a Chicago tribute band here in town, headed off by my uncle, actually James Valadez. And so it'll be a full brass band.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big production.
It is. It's a really big production. And I just told him, if we're going to do it, let's do it the way we want to do it and do it right. And if it flops, it's just we're the only ones to blame.
Any chance? I mean, where do you see this? Where are you going to premiere it?
Well, I would love to do something like at the Woodlawn Theater because that's where I started off my career in my preteens. But there's a few different theaters that we were considering. There's one that is being redone on the South Side. Oh gosh, I can't think of the name of the theater, but they closed it down to fix it up, and they're reopening their doors. Either they just did or they're getting ready to reopen their doors. And Rick had told me that would be the perfect spot for us. I just can't think of the name of the theater right now. I know you're cold.
I guess so. Just got out of the tub, right?
Yeah. But other than that, I have a show March 27th coming up here at the Tobin Center.
Oh, wow. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that came up weirdly enough. There's a promoter here in town who wanted to do a show called Sing Sister Sing. And let's see, it's myself and Valerie Campbell. I don't know if you've ever heard of Valerie Campbell, but she specializes in Tina Marie covers. And it's myself as Valerie Campbell and another woman. Oh man, I'm going to look it up online right now so you have the actual details. But it's March 27th at the Tobin Center, and I get to just sing. He says you can sing whatever you want. He doesn't. I don't have to. Oh, Margie Nell Griffin. So it's myself, Margie Nell Griffin, and Valerie Campbell. And I'm really interested in singing some songs by like Incognito, and then maybe doing a couple of my original Tejano songs. I've actually got a lot of original English music that I can't actually play on any Tejano radio stations. I don't have anywhere to play it. So this will be my one shot to get my original music heard. But the Tejano audience isn't going. That's my whole situation, Sonny, is that I've always had one foot in both worlds. And I've never been able to combine those two worlds successfully. If I did Tejano music, I had to just do straight Tejano music. And if I did English music, my English side of my audience didn't want to have anything to do with Tejano music. So I could never play both at the same time. But this one show is going to give me that opportunity to just showcase the best of my both worlds, which should be pretty interesting. If not, it's going to be a huge flop. But I'm hoping it's not. I'm hoping it's going to be great. And
I know it's going to be great.
The opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah. And I tell you what else I love about you, Rebecca, is that, and you've always been like this, you don't take yourself too seriously. You really are the first one to laugh at whatever's going on. And I think that's really part of your charm and why you're going to do great, not only in what you're doing with musically, but also with comedy.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I've had some winners and some losers in my career, and the losers didn't hurt as bad as I thought it would. And that in itself is a huge lesson for me to just not take things so seriously. I used to have really bad anxiety. And at my breaking point was when I found out that I got the Selena Forever musical. I had the worst breakdown, and my dad and my mom were both there to see it. And I usually when I had a breakdown, I could have it in my room by myself and not let anybody see me, but I couldn't help myself. I had a massive breakdown in front of my parents.
Now, here you are with something that you dream of, and you had a breakdown. Explain that.
I don't know how to explain that. I was diagnosed with social anxiety disorder, which I don't even know if that's an actual, if that's a correct diagnosis for me. I think what happened to me is the same thing that happens to everybody else. I'm just way more dramatic than anybody I've ever met. So when it happens to me, it goes a little overboard, I guess, maybe. But I had anxiety even when I was on tour with Janet. I had lots of episodes, even though I was making great money and I was traveling through Europe. I was scared all the time, just to be a part of the I guess like the dichotomy, the environment of being backstage and the pressures of having to be cool or fit in. It was like being in high school times 100, because the stakes were higher in that setting. It wasn't like, okay, if I don't make friends at high school, I'm going to graduate one day. I'm never going to see these people again. It's not a big deal. But these were the people that I had to spend every single day with on the road. And I've seen like some of the masseuses that we had on the tour and makeup artists, like if they didn't get along socially, they were let go. It's not like they didn't do a good job. Their personalities just didn't mesh well with everybody else, and gone they were. So if you'll notice, which nobody does notice, I don't have one picture with Janet. I never put myself in a situation where I got too close to her, because I was scared out of my mind that she'd realize that I wasn't the coolest person in the world and fire me. So I never got close to her. The one time I got close to her was when we came to San Antonio, and I threw a party at Mad Dog's downtown for my family, and I did not invite her because I didn't think she would show up, because her and I were never social on tour. And so when we're going out on stage that night at the Alamo Dome, somebody had asked her, "Hey, Janet, you going to the party tonight?" And she was like, "What party?" And I was floored with embarrassment because I didn't bother to invite her. And I said, "Well, I'm having a party for my family. And, you know, if you want to come, you totally can. You don't have to. It's not like necessary. And I don't want to put you out or anything."
Yeah.
And Sonny, she showed up to my party.
Oh.
And she hung out all night long and drank tequila and ate tacos and stuff with my family on the river walk that night.
Wow.
And you know, things were a little bit different for us after that. But okay, I'm so sorry, sweetheart. But yeah, I've always had that I guess that sense to prove something socially to people. And I feel so sorry when I see those symptoms in other people or in students or in my own kids for that matter. I don't want them to have to go through what I'm going through.
I understand.
So when I see it and I recognize it, I try to sit down and I talk to them and I tell them, "Look, I know what you're going through because I've literally been exactly where you are right now. Here's how I dealt with it. That doesn't mean you have to deal with it. I dealt with it completely the wrong way, and I learned my lesson. So just let me let you know my wisdom so that maybe you can walk a better path."
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
Well, listen, it's great to visit with you. I'm really excited about your new on-stage venture with comedy and everything else. And we'll have links to your website and all the news and things that are going on in your life and page right on Sonny Radio. But is there any advice you would give to a young person, you know, wanting to get into the music industry at this time?
Just to hone in on your craft and wait a little while before you hit that stage. Because nowadays it's better for you to know who you are and be that person, be your authentic self on stage, than it is for you to pretend like you're somebody else. And I feel like a lot of these youngsters, their parents are telling them to be a certain way. And it's not going to really match who they're going to be in the future. So that's always my advice, is wait and find yourself, and then release that self onto the world, as opposed to having to change who you are right in the middle of your career as it's getting off. So I don't know.
Great
That's my advice.
Well, Rebecca, thank you so much. Should I call back again at this time for little Mia tomorrow?
Oh, I know, right? Yes,
Yeah.
please. Man, the terrible twos hit literally on her birthday.
The years will fly by and you'll say, what happened? She was just on my lap. She was 2 years old and now she's getting married.
Oh man, I hope so. I hope I live long enough to see that day.
Oh, no. Are you kidding? You're a youngster. All right,
Yeah.
Rebecca. Great talking to you. God bless you.
God bless you, but thank you so much.
That's my visit with the multi-talented Rebecca Valadez. You'll find links to Rebecca's website, her Facebook page, Twitter, and much more at sunnyradio.com/show. That's sunnyradio.com/show. And while you're there, be sure to subscribe to my podcast so you don't miss a single episode. A big thank you to our sponsor, IdealPrecisionRoofing.com. Think you might have hail damage? Give them a call at 210-485-1553 or visit them at IdealPrecisionRoofing.com. Until next time, I'm Sonny Melendrez. And as Rebecca Valadez reminds us, don't take yourself too seriously. Bye-bye.